28th of April, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
Okay, very good. So yesterday we did the big paragraph in the middle on page 309. Chaim, to life. And today we'll start with the second behold, which is the bottom paragraph on page 309. He's got two beholds over here. So this is the second behold on the page.
We've got a link to that to page 258.
Yeah.
What was that for? I don't know. Is that right? Also.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I've got a note here. I think because when we did 258, then I think you mentioned this. I'm not too sure, but anyway, it says here to refer to the top paragraph there, 258. Also, expenditures for oneself and one's household. But anyway, we haven't done this one yet. So.
Oh yeah, we referred to that. Right, because in other words, the reason that I referred to page 258 is because in on the top of 258, he says also expenditures for oneself and one's household require deliberate measure. But then he says, well, if one has the means, so he should purchase things for himself and increase the honor of his home. Let him eat and drink and dress according to his affluence and to his blessing. Right? If he has the means, so that's the way he should conduct himself. Right? So we were wondering about that. Is that really the way to do? Just because he has the means, does that mean that he should spend a lot of money on eating and drinking and clothes? Is that really so? So in fact, indeed, on the bottom of page 308, which is the beginning of the entry, Chaim, he seems to be saying just the opposite. That if a person wants to live, he should not conduct himself as a person who is pampered and accustomed to pleasures, eats to his full, dresses in fancy clothing. So it seems as though he's saying in our entry on page 308 that one should not conduct himself, even if he like that, even if he does have the means. So
the connection was between the also paragraph in 258 and the behold from one perspective on 309, the bottom paragraph. Those two were connected. We haven't read that one yet. Behold.
Okay. Okay, let's read it now then. Okay, Alan, you want to start the reading for us?
Okay, which page now?
On page 309
Right.
and the bottom paragraph.
Behold, right? Behold.
Yeah.
Behold, from one perspective, it is appropriate that a man disdain the life of this world, the world of suffering and sighing. Even its pleasures are not good because they are vanities. Nonetheless, from the opposite perspective, one should desire life and love the days of this world more than the world to come. Behold, our sages in Avos 4:17 remark, better is 1 hour of Torah and good deeds in this world than the entire life of the world to come. This is so because it is good for us to serve our Creator and provide the satisfaction before his throne of glory for even 1 hour, better than the entire life of the world to come. This cannot be achieved except in the lifetime of this world, because the days of the world to come are days in which there is no sensual desire, therefore neither merit nor demerit.
Okay, so
So when we listen to the world of the Talking, in the beginning he talks about Hashem created the perfect world, right?
right.
But read this first sentence is sort of against that. Behold, from one perspective, it's appropriate that a man disdain the life of this world, the world of suffering and sighing. In the world of Atakan, he says Hashem created the perfect world. And he was saying,
Well, so the way I would say is that the Pele Yoetz is he calls the world a world of suffering and a world of sighing, because if one looks at things from a superficial point of view, so we see suffering, we see sighing, we see. Just open up the radio and listen to all the news reports.
and
It
look at
certainly
today,
sounds like it's a world of suffering and sighing. So you can't blame the Pele Yoetz for saying what he says over here.
and look at
It's
what
just
today, and look
what?
look what today is.
What's today?
Discussing world of suffering.
Oh, Yom HaShoah.
Shoah.
Yeah. So that's one way of looking at the world. The other way of looking at the world is you look a little deeper and you say that, well, in fact, Hashem is running Hashem is perfect. Hashem is perfect. And he's the one who created the world. And so did Hashem create an imperfect world? That's obviously ridiculous. Hashem is perfect, and what he created is perfect. Now, is it possible for people to mess up the world and make things run in an imperfect fashion? Is that possible?
Very good. We know that from Noah.
What do we know?
From Noah, the world had to be destroyed because of what people did.
Does the fact that the world had to be destroyed, does that mean that that Hashem didn't want that? He didn't know that was going to happen?
Of course he did. Of course he knew it happened.
That was part of what we call the Seder. When we have a Pesach Seder, we call it a Seder. What does it mean it's a Seder?
Everything's straight in order.
It's what happened that the Jewish people had to go down to Egypt and they had to suffer and they had to have suffering a lot worse than in the Holocaust, by all accounts of the Medrash. What happened to them wasn't just during 6 years; it was 86 years that they had of suffering, and nevertheless, that was all a part of Hashem's Seder. That was the whole Seder of the world. That was the way Hashem wanted things to happen, because like that, the Jewish people came out with the Geula of Mitzrayim. They were able to accept the Torah when Hashem said, "Do you want the Torah?" And otherwise, if they would not have been in such a situation of suffering and helplessness and if they would have seen all the nisim that they saw, that wouldn't have moved them at all to accept the Torah. They would have done just like the Goyim did. What did the Goyim do when they saw all the nisim that happened? They said, "Hoo, hoo, hoo," and that was it. There's nothing else, because they did not have the experience that Hashem wanted Klal Yisrael to have in the Shibud of Mitzrayim, that prepared them to come out as a nation that would accept the Torah, that would feel such a connection to Hashem and believe in Hashem to such an extent that they said, "Yeah, we want the Torah. Nasiv Nishma. Yeah, we want it." That was all part of the Seder. It's the Seder of the way Hashem made the Bria. And everything is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Nothing is going wrong. That's the Emunah. That's the perspective of Emunah and Bitachon. So the Pele Yoetz is writing, that's the way we see it. That's the way people see it. It's a world of suffering. It's a world of sighing, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, fine. Okay. But the Pele Yoetz is telling us that in a certain sense, that's also part of the plan, so that a person should say, you know what? How much can I actually enjoy if the material and material pleasures of this world? It's really, at the end of the day, it's a world of suffering and sighing. So I may as well do what the Pele Yoetz says and cling to the advancement of spirituality in this world, and disdain the life of this world, meaning to disdain the Gashmias, to just live in order to eat and live in order to do X, Y, and Z. But I should live in order to serve Hashem. And that's what he says, that this world is actually greater than the next world, because this world is the only world that we could serve Hashem.
Right.
And that's what he concludes off over here, trying to understand what he says over here. He quotes Pirkei Avos, it's better 1 hour of Torah and good deeds in this world than the entire life, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, of the world to come. And why could that, how could that be? This world is a short world. It's 120 years at best, and it's filled with suffering and sighing. But no, it's the world that is the only place that we could serve Hashem, the only place that we could do avodas Hashem and provide satisfaction for his throne of glory. Which, for even if we do it for 1 hour, that's more than all of the whole world to come. And then he says, this cannot be achieved except in the lifetime of this world, because the days of the world To come are days which there is no desire, neither merit nor demerit.
I don't get that. I mean, we know that there's Torah study in the world to come. So if you're studying Torah in the world to come, it seems to me that you're serving Hashem. And furthermore, we know that there's the concept of an Ilui Nishmas, an elevation of the soul that comes from people saying Kaddish, for example, for a person. And that's happening in the world to come.
Right? So therefore, why is there so therefore if the neshamas are ascending to higher levels, so why isn't that called avodas Hashem?
Yeah, why isn't it called merit?
Well, that I could answer. There's nothing that a neshama in the next world can do in order to increase its merits.
What about the story about Yehuda going to the base midrash, and Moshe prayed for him so that he was able to study there?
Again, there's nothing that Yehuda, the neshama, in the Olam HaEmes can do in order to increase his merit or demerit. There's nothing that he could do at that time when he is in the Olam HaEmes, when he is no longer in this world. There's nothing that he can do to increase or decrease his merits. Nothing.
So what is it? He's not accomplished anything when he learns Torah?
What the Pele Yoetz is saying over here is, I think I understand what he's saying here now. Let's try to understand why it is that in this world, we are able to increase our merit and demerits. It's because this world is a world which does have desires to go after things which are the opposite of avodas Hashem. And so therefore in this world there is a war. There is a war that the neshama has to choose to go in the way of avodas Hashem and to do Torah and do mitzvahs, and not to do the opposite of avodas Hashem. And there is a great pull and a desire in this world that the person feels to do things which are the opposite of avodas Hashem. And when the person wages this war and he chooses to be repelled by the pleasures, the material pleasures of this world, and rather to engage in the pleasure of Torah and mitzvahs. If we call it a pleasure, if we don't call it a pleasure, whatever we call it, to choose to do the avodas Hashem, that what he does is what is creating his merits. He has free choice here. He has a battle. There's a war. And he's waging a war. So he gets merits for waging that war. It's not about, in the Olam HaEmes, there's no longer any war, says the Pele Yoetz. There's days which there are no. I want to look at in the. There's no more war. Everything is clear. So even if the neshama is going to learn Torah, of course that's what the neshama does. In an ideal situation, that's what it does. Of course, it's basically acting like a malach. It's all clear. There's no challenge, and all the neshama wants to do is come close to Hashem. So that's what it does. But does it get merit for that? Does it get a mitzvah for doing that? No.
I don't understand why not. It's a Shem's
There's no
will.
longer any fights. There's no longer any war. There's no longer any challenge to choose to do the Ratzon Hashem, and that's what it's all about. The definition of doing the definition of achieving merit for oneself is during the time that the game is going. And the game is going only in this world. In the next world, the game is over. The Gemara says, this world is the world to achieve, this world is the world to do, and the next world is to receive all of the pleasure, all of the what do you call it? The reward, rather. Next world is to receive the reward for the doing that we did in this world. But it's not comparable to this world. It's not called doing. There's a story with Rav Eli Lopian. Rav Eli Lopian, the Mashkiach, here in Eretz Yisrael. Here in Eretz Yisrael, soccer is a very, very it's like I think it's even more than baseball and basketball and football combined. The Israelis are so crazy about it, and they spend hours and hours and hours watching soccer games. And there was a story with Rebbe Yopian, one of the Bachrim in the yeshiva. There was a certain day that came that there was the championship cup of the day. It was the champion between this team, whatever there was, and that team, whoever they were. The big soccer game. So this boy, he was a Shiva Bacher, right? Comes from an Orthodox home, I assume. That's why he's in the yeshiva. But he had a big pull to want to watch this game. And when was this game? It was in the middle of the Seder of the yeshiva, right? It was, I don't know what day it was. It was Wednesday at 3:30 in the afternoon. You're supposed to be learning in the Seder, in the afternoon Seder at the yeshiva. This boy had a very difficult time over here, I guess he went to Rebbe Eli Lopian to help me. So Rebbe Eli Lopian said, listen, let me ask you a question about this this soccer game over here. I want to know something. He says, what do you got to do in order to, what's the whole goal of this game? He says, Rebbe, what do you mean? There's a big what do you call it? A goal. There's a big goal post or whatever, and there's a ball, and there's a and you've got to kick the ball and get it into the goal. And when you get the goal, then you win the game. And Rebellious said to the boy, he said, listen, why don't you go over there now and take a ball and kick it into the goal? And then you'll win the game then. He says, Rebbe, no. It's not the time. It's not the time for the game. The whole time for the game is going to be 3:30 and all of the and then there's the goalie is going to be there. The goalie is going to be in front of the goal. He's going to be guarding the goal. He's not going to let anybody get the soccer ball into the behind him, past him. And that's the whole point of the game. It's not, you can't, that doesn't matter when you just go and kick the ball in the goal today. There's no goalie over there. There's no game. So Rebellious said to him, oh, so let me hear something over here. The whole game is coming at 3:30 today in the afternoon. But you know what? Also here, there's a Seder over here at 3:30 in the afternoon. And when is that Seder the most important Seder to come to? When there's a soccer game, the biggest game of the year that you want to go to. And when you come to the Seder today at 3:30 and you're in the Seder learning Torah, instead of going to the game or watching it on television or whatever it is that you're going to do, that's called that you're learning Torah. It's the same exact thing as the soccer game. You yourself understand the soccer game is it's not just a matter of kicking the ball into the goal. The goalie's got to be there. The game has got to be on. Well, the same thing happens over here in this world. This world is the world that the game is going, and the goalie is guarding the goal, and we got to kick the ball into the goal. The world to come, there's no goalie. You can kick all the balls into the goal that you want, but the goalie is not there. The game is not there. The game is finished. It's all over. That's not the idea, to kick the ball into the goal at that point. So you can learn all the Torah that you want in Olam Haba, but that's not the main learning. The main learning is in this world. This is the world that gets you to the place that you're going to be in the next world. You can't say, oh, when I get to the next world, then I'm going to really start learning. Then I'm going to really start doing mitzvahs. That's like saying the game is over already. There's no goalie over there. Go kick the ball in the goal. Big deal. Nothing. It's not worth anything. It doesn't gain you any merits. Okay. So that's the story. Okay. This is of course a very big subject, but this is what the Pele Yoetz is referring to. This is what he's referring to. The neshama was sent down into this world. What? You can ask another question. why did we got to be sent down into this world altogether? Why does Hashem have to make a world like this? Why couldn't we all have been neshamas in Olam Haba and enjoy basking in the light of Hashem's Shekhinah in Olam Haba forever and ever and ever? And that'll be perfect. That'll be a perfect world. Yeah, that'll be real perfection. We don't even need this world of Olam Hazeh. We don't need any of its suffering and any of its difficulties and all of its problems, and everything is going wrong, and all of the aggravation. What do we need it all for? We need it because without this world, we have not earned any merits. Hashem wants to give us the best pleasure, the best reward that we could possibly get. We don't want a handout. If Hashem just puts us in Olam Haba and we're learning Torah, we're close to Hashem, we didn't earn anything. Hashem wants us to feel that we've earned something. That we're going to be in Olam Haba and we got there because we earned it. That's going to be the greatest pleasure of Olam Haba. That it was our Torah and mitzvahs that we did in this world that gives us all of the closeness to Hashem and all of the spiritual pleasure that we're going to enjoy as our reward in Olam Haba. But without this world, there's no merit, there's no demerit, there's nothing. What do you mean there's nothing? There's Torah learning, there's closeness to Hashem. It's all nothing. It's all nothing. This world makes it everything. Without this world, it's nothing. It's an incredible, incredible concept. And halavai, we should learn it and internalize it and do, and use this world to do. Okay. So we finished page 309. A round of applause for page 309.
Yay.
And Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Okay, Mayor, would you like to start off page 310?
Okay. For every pious person should pray, and this should be the intent of one who desires and seeks life, not to be able to see the wedding canopy of his children or to see his children's children. These are all vanities, and if only for their sake, it would be better to be in the world of truth, better in the 1 hour of pleasantness in the world to come than the entire world. The commentators have already explained the verse in Tehillim. Who is impoverished and despicable person who desires life merely to see good. It is the same way that we understand the verse in Shmuel Aleph, who is the uncircumcised Philistine. Rather, a person should only desire life for the purpose of serving his Creator and to provide satisfaction before his throne of glory. One who delves deeply into one who delves deeply into this will make every effort to devote his life to the service of God, will know him in all of his ways, will direct all of his actions for the sake of heaven, and will treasure the time he is alive, not to squander it.
for it is more valuable than the entire life of the world to come. For this reason also, a person has the obligation to safeguard his health and to protect himself very much in order that he not lose any of the abundant good that he can acquire in one moment of this world. Someone who is not careful about every dangerous thing puts his life at risk and will have to give in the future an accounting for all of the lost time that this negligence caused, that his negligence caused. Wow. Okay.
Wow. See, this is a very, very high madriga, what he's talking about over here, really. I mean, who doesn't daven that he should be able to live to see the wedding canopy of his children, and to see his children's children. These are it would seem to be certainly things that people daven for. This is why people are very involved in the davening for their all of these things. And yet he says these are all vanities. What does he mean by all this? But his bottom line basically is that, well, like we've been saying, the purpose of this world is to serve Hashem and to give Hashem a nachas ruach. This is what a person should desire, and this is what he should daven for. That's the real point of why he's here. So even if we're not able to really, I mean, we're all in any case going to daven for to see the wedding canopy of our children and see our children's children. But nevertheless, we try to always also keep in mind that we should desire our life, because our life gives us the opportunity to serve Hashem and to provide a nachas ruach for Hashem. And and that's what he says. One who thinks about this very deeply will come to the conclusion that that's what he's got to do, and that's what his life in this world will involve doing. Service of Hashem. Okay. Right. Okay. Very good. Do we have any time left, or that's it? Oh yeah, we have some time left. Okay. So Roy, would you like to read the next paragraph?
The masters of ethical improvement have already written this moral maxim. If someone were to say to a man, For how much, excuse me, for how much will you sell 1 year of your life, 1 day, or even 1 hour? Surely he will show them utter contempt, even if they give him all the silver and gold in the world. If so, how does he give away his life for nothing and squander it? His days dissipate as smoke in laughter and levity, or in prohibited matters, sins and transgressions, such that his death would be preferred to his life. Is there any folly greater than this? The man who desires life should have pity on every moment of his life, not to waste it, even more than he has pity on his silver and gold. Always, without interruption, he should be engaged in the service of his Creator in deed, speech, or thought.
Hmm. Okay. Wow. Okay, so that's the expression. People say time is money, but then there's another expression. No, time is not money. Time is life. Time is life. That's what life is made up of. It's made up of years, of months, of days, of minutes. It's made up of time. So time is life. Time is not money. And that's what the Pele Yoetz is saying over here, that someone who desires life and understands what the value that life can bring. The life is an opportunity to serve Hashem, and like that, he will endeavor to use his life for that purpose that he was created to serve Hashem. So, and that he says, he should, his point over here is that he should have pity on his life. Everyone knows that a person has pity on his money. He doesn't want to lose any money. Oh, this would be the worst thing in the world if a person lost. He looks in his wallet and he had $1,000 in his wallet and he doesn't know where it is now. Oh, he's going to be so unhappy. He's going to be so upset. Where's that money? He's going to retrace his steps for the last 2 weeks. What happened to that $1,000? Where did it go? Blah, blah, blah. And let's say it would be $10,000. Let's say it would be $50,000. Wow. And so he's very, very concerned that he shouldn't lose any amount of his money. But he's got to make sure that he shouldn't lose any part of his life, which means to use every moment, every moment for a constructive purpose, for a good purpose. Okay. And now we go to the final paragraph. Lou, would you like to conclude this entry of Chaim, of life, the service of thoughts? The service of thoughts. So, Alan, would you like to conclude the service of thoughts?
The service of thought to fear and love Hashem, he who is respected and awesome, to cling unto him, etc., is a continuous obligation. A person can perform it constantly, whether sitting, walking, lying down, or when he gets up. When he engages in his business, directs his workers, is eating and drinking, or when he stands at a public gathering, his service will not be lacking from a good and upright man. People who strengthen their paths always place Hashem before them. This is the whole of man. Health 12:13. A person who lacks the self-control to direct his heart to constantly think pure thoughts should choose an easier path. The voice is the voice of Yaakov. His mouth should not cease from reciting the holy text when he sits and stands in an unsoiled place. He should recite matters in which he is expert and knows by heart. For example, Parsha HaTamid, Parsha Shema, etc. Or commonplace Mishnayos, for example, Yehuda ben Tema, Rebbe Hananiah ben Akashaya, etc. We should repeat them even 1,000,000 times. Or sages, Tana Devrei Eliyahu Zuta, too, commented that even if a person repeats the entire day, and the sister of Lotan is Timna from Bereshis, the Holy One, blessed be he, fixes for him a reward like one who studies the game. And every man is obligated only according to his ability. This is his responsibility, and there is nothing that exempts him from evil. Even though there is no righteous man in the world who will only do good and not sin in this matter, nevertheless, whatever is in his power, he must attempt. We should remember the rock of the sanctity choose the least of all bad options, not remove Hashem from his thinking, and a person who comes to be purified will receive divine assistance.
Okay, so that's the that's the words of encouragement that he gives us. The last few lines over here, he says that every man is obligated only according to his ability. So this is also something that we have to keep in mind, that Hashem only asks us to try our best. So even if we don't manage to use every single second of the day for avodas Hashem, and there's a few seconds here and there that we did not use for avodas Hashem, and right. So, but nevertheless, we that's what we're saying. That's what the Pele Yoetz is saying over here. We only can do as much as we can do. We can only try to do. Well, we can only try our best. That's our responsibility, to try our best and to engage in the battle and to not give up the battle, even if it's so, like he says, that there's no such thing as a tzaddik who only does tov and he doesn't he doesn't do anything which is not tov. We know even of the greatest of the of Klal Yisrael that all of them, there was different times that they didn't exactly do 100% tov. So, but nevertheless, we do whatever we have the ability to do. We do as much as we can, and for that, we are. That's Hashem's perfect world that we try to do whatever it is that we could do. And he adds that a person who tries, in other words, that's what it means. A person who comes to be purified, a bola taher, a person comes to purify himself. What does that mean? It means he's trying. He really is trying. He's really got to try. not just say that he wants to do this and that. That's also part of it. You have to say it, commit to do it, but also you have to try. You have to try very hard. And that is called coming to be purified. And when we do that, we receive siyata dishmaya, we receive divine assistance. Okay. A round of applause for Hayim. Hayim is a great thing. Baruch Hashem.
All right. So,
And so now that we've concluded learning about Chaim, we can go ahead and do it. We can do Chaim. Ezrat Hashem. Ad Me'ah Esrim. We say farewell today to Mayor. Ez Hashem.
Have a good day, everyone.
Atzlacha Rabba, Basurus
Thank you.
Toivos, Yeshuos, V'nechamos. Everything good.
Amen.
And we will be back soon. Yes,
Okay.
any questions?
yeah.
No questions. Okay.
See you, Maya. Bye.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.
Okay.